Hello YouTube. I recently purchased an Ishapore 2A1 rifle. This is a sporter, and I've decided to buy it because I wanted to restore it to a mil-spec configuration and learn in the process. This rifle has a very nice bore, so it's more of an incentive to actually work on this rifle, and it has a few matching numbers, which is again an incentive. So you can see that the buttstock on it was repaired, and the repair is basically coming off. The butt plate is not fitted too well, and the forestock is shortened, and it's missing obviously the upper handguard, forward handguard, and some additional hardware in the front of the rifle is missing. The finish is thinning, and it's got patches of enamel still present. Some bluing is still there, but for the most part I had to strip all of that off. So what I used to strip it off, strip off the enamel, was acetone and paint stripper. Then to remove bluing, I used a vapor rust, which is a liquid that you just leave your parts in, and it basically removes rust, and because bluing is a form of rust, it removes that as well. So you can see that all the parts have been deblued, and I didn't have to do anything to the surface of the metal, as in sanding or steel wool or anything. Basically, the surface of the metal is intact, and all of these parts that you see are the parts that came on the rifle. So it's still missing those parts that I need. So I've decided, meanwhile, to start working on the buttstock. That previous repair was very easy to remove, so I took it off, and I've decided to use the shortened forestock as the source for the new piece of wood for the buttstock. And meanwhile, just cleaned up the buttstock a little bit and received the new forestock from gunpartscorp.com. This is, I believe, an unissued forestock. It doesn't seem like it was ever on a rifle, and it seems like it's got enough wood in the places where wood needs to be removed to actually fit to the receiver, which I didn't know how to do correctly, so I didn't take enough off the back and took some off of inside to get the stock to go on the receiver, which I later had to basically patch up a little bit. And I'll show you in a second. There will be an image that shows the area that I had to patch up. Essentially what you want is a really tight fit. But as I was fitting the forestock, I noticed when it was on the receiver already that the stock was actually warped in the front, which was a very, very big disappointment. And you can see just how badly it was warped in this image and the image following this one. So I've decided that I'm going to try straightening the forestock by steaming. So you can see that I'm using a turkey pan filled with water. Forestock is just sitting on top of it and covered with aluminum foil. All I'm trying to do is make sure that steam penetrates the wood and heats it up. Basically, you want good moisture content and really high temperature for the wood to become pliable. And when you get there, basically it's easy to reverse twist the stock. So I'm cross shimming it basically on the opposite sides at opposite ends, so that when I clamp it down, I twist it in the opposite direction of where it warped naturally, and then I'm allowing it to dry in that position for 24 to 48 hours. I was actually told that it's better if I leave it there for a much longer period of time. Meanwhile, I decided I'm going to start working on that patch. So I've got a piece of wood, I fitted it to the buttstock, I applied Gorilla epoxy glue and dowels on the inside of the repair. I was told actually that it's better to drill all the way through from the top and then dowel from the top, but I didn't know that. Anyway, I fitted the butt plate a little bit better. You can see that there's not as much of a gap, and that's the area that I had to patch up. See, so I've removed a little bit too much material off of inside, but now that I patched it up, I'm getting good contact in the back now. So the stock goes in with a snap, basically. and is tight. Here you see that I started to fit or shape my forestock to the receiver. I'm trying to follow the lines of the receiver. I'm trying to remove excess material basically, so I don't just have a piece of wood that appears like it's just slapped on onto this rifle. And again, I've actually ordered a new forestock before I tried steaming, because I wasn't sure if it was going to work. So I have another forestock coming, and with this one I decided to take all the way and see if I can actually correct it, which it seems like I did. But because of that removed wood and then patching it back up, I may as well just try and fit a new stock better than I did this one. You can see that I'm trying to see alignment of handguards on that forestock. And now I'm trying to basically drive or pull some of the oil out of the buttstock, and I'm using the acetone and calcium carbonate mix that you mix to a cake batter consistency and then apply to the forestock, and as it dries it pulls the oil out of the stock and into itself. And you can see it here with those yellow brownish stains. That's oil being pulled out of the gun stock. And I'm not talking about boiled linseed oil. It's gun oil and grease that's soaked in. And you can see post-treatment that the stock looks much cleaner, basically almost brand new, except for some of the imperfections that are just a result of history of the stock, basically. So it worked pretty well. You can see how clean it is. There's no dark staining anymore from that gun oil and grease getting into the stock from the receiver. I also patched off the screw hole that was basically just stripped. And I've decided to try and acroglass bed the receiver into the stock, and it actually worked out pretty well. I got even a better fit, so the stock literally goes onto the receiver with a snap, and doesn't move once it's on. It doesn't tilt, it doesn't go side to side, nothing. The bushing fits pretty well. I had to move it slightly over, and here you can see that I've shaped it to the buttstock socket even more, so it really looks like one continuous basically shape. There's no huge protrusions on the sides. It meets with the trigger guard pretty well, but I'm going to be using a different forestock anyway, so this was a learning experience basically on this forestock. As you can see, everything is lining up pretty well. So then I stained all of the wood that I had, and decided to just put it on the rifle, or put the rifle into the wood, just to kind of see what it looks like. And it doesn't look all that bad, even though I know for a fact I'm not going to be using a lot of these pieces. As a learning experience, again, it was a good thing to see progress and to see basically what I've accomplished up to this point. But in part 2, I'm going to probably show you the rifle in the actual wood that I'm going to use on it. So stay tuned, look out for part 2, and I'll continue sharing this progress. Thank you for watching.